Hello and welcome to another ACY Securities Market Update. My name is Alistair Schultz and I'm going to be your host through today's trading journey. Now in the news that I have for you today, it's all about Westpac consumer sentiment, and the numbers have been abysmal. We have seen a 17.7% contraction on the index today. Now, what do they usually look at in these index reports? Well, the fact of the matter is they go and get a sort of survey between 12 and 1,500 people about what their expectations are for the economy in the near term. And the results are not good. They're obviously stating that the Australian consumer and the general Australian public are sort of thinking in lines of that we haven't got a good economic situation that's about to happen. We've seen it also affect into the housing market as well. Not so much in the prices immediately, but the way that people are thinking about the buying and selling of property. In Australia here, people are sort of looking at the idea that it's not the right time to buy, nor is it the right time to sell, showing that both sides of the coin here are feeling the same, and it's negative towards what the outlook is going to be. To keep in mind of all this, it is the largest monthly drop that Australia has had for consumer sentiment in 46 years. So it is rivaling what we saw in the 1990s bubbles, and we also in the 1980s and 1970s, and it has surpassed what we saw in the GFC in terms of a drop for consumer sentiment. So it is something to keep an eye on, especially if you're trading the Australian dollar or the ASX, and we might likely see some more information coming out tomorrow, considering we have unemployment claims coming in. Now, whilst all this is bad, it could have been worse. If we hadn't have had a stimulus package sort of delivered so that companies would keep employees on and that would be limited restricted staffing sort of hours going on, then we would have likely seen a much higher unemployment rate and probably a much lower retraction on this. So this has been, a positive out of the negative, I suppose, if you will. Now for the news ahead, there are a few things coming up tonight at 11:30 p.m. tonight. We have the US core retail sales and the standard retail sales. So that'll be something to have a look for, especially if you're trading any US pairs. And then at 1 in the morning, we have the Bank of Canada making an announcement about monetary policy and potentially an interest rate change. So that'll be something that you all have to keep an eye on, especially if you're trading the CAD. But if not, it will still possibly affect oil prices. So bear in mind, if you are involved in oil and or the Canadian dollar, keep an eye on what's going on there. Either way, have a great trading day ahead. And of course, if you have any questions about any of the stuff I've covered today or perhaps some of my other videos, feel free to send me an email at talktoal@acy.com. And of course, like and subscribe to the video so you can get more great content from me and ACY Securities in the future. Have a great trading day ahead.